Okay, this is my current physical read at the moment. I finished the Moonspell book that I showed in another video, and I really liked that book. The only problem is that a lot of the pages had like full spells for certain things, and I'm over reading those kind of books because I don't need a full like layout of a spell. I intuitively make my own spells. So I don't want books with a ton of that. I don't want that in my, path right now. So there was still a lot of good information in it, but I wouldn't I'm kind of over those books. If you get it, you get it. And on Audible, I'm currently listening to Caught Up by Nevessa Allen, I believe. And then I'm listening to a book about Welsh witchcraft, which I obviously love, witchy Wiccan books and things that involve energy, magic, the earth and its animals and all that. But I think I also do like a good romance. Like up here is a book I got from my in-laws about stories of Christmas. And then I got Jesus. This is a cozy lesbian romance book that just made me feel so good inside. So that's currently the vibe. Okay, I wanted to show you some of my bedside table crystals that I have. I like collecting them. Over time, I've just added more to my collection. I use them in ritual. I use them in spell work and meditation. Kind of placing them on my, 7 energy points to help boost something certain that I want to manifest in that area, if that makes sense. So I have a few on my bedside table that these ones are mainly used for meditation, just because of location and stuff. So this is my newest piece. It's a moonstone, and I'm still deciphering what exactly it feels like to me, but it almost feels like moonstone, feminine magic, light within the dark. It's almost feeling like cleansing your feminine aura and your mystical aura. This crystal quartz point, or what's this called? A crystal quartz tower. I got that from a Beltane market one year, and it was just calling to me, and this is honestly, I've used this so much within energy work. It is absolutely I love clear quartz. It is such a refreshing, soothing stone to me. I love it. This is an aventurine point that I got from a newly opened crystal shop the one year in a place I used to live, and I've used it mainly for prosperity magic, to be honest, but I also just the energy of this too is quite what's the word? Almost like a clearing in a way, but also it's more of a higher up feeling. Whereas I have malachite here. I love malachite. This is my only piece of malachite, and this one is I associate this with protection, earth energy, abundance, prosperity as well, but it's more grounding, if that makes sense. The aventurine almost feels like a crown chakra sort of thing, and then this feels more down to earth, like a root one, if that makes sense to you. I have this amethyst point. Amethyst is great for anything involving ritual work because it helps aid in, at least to me, it helps aid in opening up to the other world, to your own inner magic. And this point is just gorgeous. I have this I got from Beltane another year. This is a rose quartz palm stone, and it's just so loving and unconditional love, soothing. And then I have, my mom got this for me when she went to Salem, without me, might I add, but it's fine. She got this for me in Salem. It's smoky quartz. So I use this on any energy points where I feel heavier, or I need just that extra boost of taking away certain anxieties or worries, just to help aid in those things. Obviously, when it comes to specifically meditation and ritual work and spell work, these are tools. What really is doing the work is your mind and how you feel coming out of certain states, and like taking that and moving forward with that is kind of how I see it. I also see witchcraft as a very therapeutic thing. So, of course, not all people doing any sort of magic ritual work or witchcraft or spiritual stuff are going to use crystals, because it just might not be their thing, or they just might not, you know, whatever the case may be. You don't even need tools. Help within practices like those, but they're not the essential things. Your mind and your spirit are, and also how you take care of your mind, body, and soul. So that's kind of how I see it. But yeah, just how things have manifested in my life. I love crystals. I love using them. So these are just a few of my, you know, my crystal babies. All right. So this was very last minute. This was very last minute. Me and my mom are going to Melanie Martinez, the Hades Sacrifice Tour. I love that album so much. So, did my makeup, did hair, did a more simple look because I want to be comfortable still. I don't know if I can show my outfit. I want to show you my outfit. Okay. So we got my signature necklace that I always wear out. No, I can't see nothing. Okay. So, I got this like ruffled, like off the shoulder, beautiful shirt. And then I have this skirt on, and I have shorts underneath, obviously, because I am not very ladylike in the sense that, like, I'd be, like, spread eagle sitting. So, yeah, that's the look. And then I'm going to wear these new shoes that I have. But I put Band-Aids on just in case they give me blisters. But these are really freaking cute. So, you see the vision. You see the vision. And I'm excited about it. Okay, so I need to go run some errands. My hair is wet. I find blow drying my hair very overstimulating. I'm over it. I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm doing the bare minimum. The reason is it's my day off and I wasn't going to go out, but I'm having some health problems, and I'm working with health professionals to like manage symptoms and figure out what's going on, but we haven't been able to for years, so it's been a fun journey. It is what it is, but I need to go pick up a prescription because my last one didn't work, which sucks. And then Stewie, our kitten, is having a minor health issue as well, and we're bringing him to the vet next week. But just to be on the safe side, I think I'm gonna get some cleansing supplies or at least see. I want to cleanse, like not just clean the house. I'm pretty good at keeping the house clean and tidy. I want to cleanse as well, and my altar area here, which I tend to keep up on. It looks really nice, but I think I just want to clear anything energetically if I can, anything to minimize uncomfort or anything like that. What else? I finished the Secrets of High Magic book, and it was my least favorite read of the year so far, only because I didn't realize it was mainly Hermetic practices and Hermetic belief structures. Not really my thing. I got some core things from it, but I kept it. It's good to have. I have a little section of like witchy books that I have. I'll show you guys. Hold on. These are my stack of like spiritual witchy books that I've read that aren't on Audible. These are physical copies. Goddess Alive at the bottom here was a very beautiful book. I love that one. The one on top is a small book about Irish witchcraft. Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul was a good one. Hoodoo Cleansing was a very interesting book. To be honest, I don't really... It's cool to see other people's perspective on things, and you can take what, resonates and leave the rest, The Witch's Way Home, I think, is a great beginner book. The Witch's Heart is one of my favorites. That's a reimagination of the relationship between Angrboda and Loki's relationship and their kids. Initiated was a very good book. I like that one. Quantum Healing, I think that's just a really good book to read regardless of your journey. I think there's a lot of good information on there. Honestly, that ties into things I'm going through right now, in a way. If you get it, you get it. The Little Book of Crystals my aunt gave me a while ago. I thought it was really cute. I've developed my own kind of relationship with my crystals, as you guys know. Moon Spells I just read. The Little Book of Druidry, that's a good book. I knew a lot of the information, but it's good to just look over it again. The Secrets of High Magic, again, gave you my review. The New Orleans Voodoo Handbook, that one's a good one. I like how much information is in there and how the author goes deeply into explaining certain practices and certain belief structures. The Book of Hedge Druidry was good. I don't necessarily call myself a druid, but I do take a lot of things from druidic practices. The Astrology Dictionary, the Astrology Directory, that one I got out of Winners. Yeah, and the Modern Witchcraft's Guide. Oh my goodness. The Modern Witchcraft Guide to Fairies. That's a cute one. I do work with the Fae. However, again, that one had a lot of like, oh, a spell for X, Y, and Z. I'm not big into reading like step-by-step spells in books. I make my own. But there's still good information in there. Bliss Brain, that's a good book for anyone. That explains the benefits of meditation, and honestly, I should get back on meditating. I haven't been truly deeply meditating for a little bit. And then Heaven in Your Spiritual Evolution. That one is gorgeous. And no matter what you believe when it comes to the afterlife or whatever it is, I think there's good information in there. The illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's kind of my little book area for like witchy Wiccan books. Again, like I have built my own Wiccan practice over the past 10 years, and I didn't even call myself a Wiccan for the longest time. I just called myself a witch. And I don't follow Gardnerian Wiccan practices at this point in time, but I do follow my own kind of Wiccan witchy belief structure. But the core principles of Wicca, the Wiccan Read, that's kind of a guide to how I've moved forward in my path, and it just really resonates with me. And for some people it doesn't. For some people, they want a more traditional path. They want a more, less structures from a religious perspective, which that was me for the longest time, and I completely understand it. But yeah, I would say the main books that I would suggest to anybody would be Bliss Brain and Quantum Healing, no matter the journey that you're on. But yeah, these are just some books. I love podcasts. I love, Audible books. I'm listening to a book called Welsh Witchcraft, which is actually really good as well. Yeah, and then there's some books that I've gotten when it comes to spiritual stuff that I just did not like, I did not resonate with, and I, either donated them or I sold them online or gave them to someone. It just didn't resonate with me at all, and I don't think I would ever go back to it. The reason I'm keeping The Secrets of High Magic is there was core things that I liked about certain things, and there's beautiful pictures in there, and at the end of the day, I might cut them up and put them in my junk journal, quite honestly. But yeah, that's kind of my section of like spiritual, witchy, Wiccan books. Some of them are just to learn about, certain aspects of different spiritual practices. Some of them are stories. Some of them are just basic, let's go back to the basics of, witchcraft, safety, protection. So, yeah. But I should really get going now, so. Okay, we did everything. I was a little bit better than I thought I was gonna be. Everything is good. I also picked up some supplements that we were behind on, like Darren wants iron now. We take omega-3s, magnesium, all that stuff. But yeah, I went to also get a drink. So Tim Hortons, I'm in Canada. They're not what they used to be. I'll call them out. But they serve matcha now. And for the price, they should really be grinding it up properly, but that's fine. I like the taste of matcha in general. This is just their original basic matcha with milk. I love matcha. I love the taste of matcha. But some people don't like the taste of it, which is fine. Or some people really needed it grinded because they don't like a clump of it, coming through the straw and shit. And I totally understand that, 100%. So, I think... Not me struggling. Anyway, so I'll show you what I got in terms of cleansing. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to set up above my door area just a little section for health in the home. I'm not going to show it just because, like up close anyway, just because personal stuff. But, I have a bunch of protections and stuff up and things related to my path around my home. Some I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing, full views of my altar. I won't go into detail, but I'm not superstitious like, oh, you can't see my altar. You know what? If anyone's coming at me, which I don't think they are, but if anyone's coming at me, I mean, it's just, to me, a lot of this, the people online that are saying never show your altar, never do this, it's a really superstitious thing, and that is fine, but I find a lot of those people are in some sort of spiritual psychosis. If you are working on your protection spells just for your space and yourself and your family, if you're, cleansing your home, cleaning it in general, taking care of your mind, body, and spirit, and doing what you can, and also, again, like, going to, healthcare professionals if needed, actually, like, doing things physically to make your space safe. I don't believe that someone can fuck with that, and if not, and if you really are scared there's something deeper going on within you, that's just my personal, don't come at me. Okay. So, I think what I'm gonna do, so, this is gonna be fun. Also, I know I don't need this filter on, I'm having an off day, I don't like how I look. I know I'm a boss bitch, all the things, but just make ourselves feel good and do what we do. So, I actually got a rosemary smudge bundle. I've never used one of these before. This will be my first time. I've been on this path for 10 years and I've never used a smudge bundle before. So what I'm gonna do is I have a mini cast iron cauldron. So I think I'm gonna go around in each room, and I can put it in here at the end. I don't have one of those shells, so I made sure I asked the lady if this would be okay. which I assumed it was because I burned things in here anyway. So this is my little cauldron, my little witchy cauldron. But I'm gonna go into each room and smudge. I'm just gonna write in my Wiccan journal. I'll show you that as well. I have a lot of Book of Shadows, Book of Mirrors that I've kept over the years just of my practice. I love to journal. I have a brain dump journal. I have like a journal it's in my bedside table that I was actually using when I was like taking little courses online, like magical courses and stuff. I have, I write a lot of lists. I have I have calendars. I am a big journal record keeper, all of that. So what I'm gonna do, this is my current sacred journal right now. This is actually my first journal that instead of calling it a Book of Shadows and a Book of Mirrors, when you get into like the witchy space and you're looking up what works for you, you'll hear like Book of Shadows quite often and Book of Mirrors. I think I'm turning away from that and I'm just calling this my Wiccan Book of Spells. So I mean, I have the Wiccan read on here, and then when I'm doing something sacred and I'm researching when it comes to my own personal practice, I will write in here. So this is kind of my sacred, like, record keeping. So it takes me longer to fill these up, quite honestly. But if I'm if I'm learning anything, or if I'm, like, brain dumping, like, you know what, technically everything's spiritual and everything's interconnected, but this is my sacred book. I'm going to write down like history of smudging, what different bundles do and all that, and then yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's kind of, oh, and then so I live close to a metaphysical, so I live close to a metaphysical shop, and of course, people's morals and ethics can get involved in whatever. Each person's spiritual journey is very different, but I like those shops for getting supplies, getting like incense. I love incense. I use incense to smoke cleanse our spaces. Like that's always been a thing in my practice, but I've never, like, I'm doing some more heavy smoke cleansing. Yeah, my first time, 10 years into the practice, never did it. So cool. Anyway, so I've collected a few decks. I've collected, obviously, books. I love crystals. And then there's I get most of my candles from the Dollar Tree because they're pillar candles. They work. They do magic. Some of my decor within my altar that reflects my practice is either I put my witchy hat, not that I sew or anything, but I made the hat and I decorated it with ribbons and whatnot, and owl feathers and deer bone and a snake shed thing, and there's collages I've made, yearly collages hanging up around my altar and stuff like that. I have a therapist witchy book thing where I was taking therapy for a little bit, and part of it was art therapy, so I actually used that within my therapy, which is very deeply interconnected to my well-being and my practice. So my altar sacred space is very grounding, and I do put time and money into it, but there's things that just sometimes I don't care about. I don't know, some stuff is from the dollar store. I have a little fox plant thing to represent, I offered it to Loki. So I was like, okay, when it comes to spiritual practice and creating a sacred space, whether it's in Wiccan altar, witchy altar, or just a place to pray or whatever it is that you like, you don't have to buy nothing. You can collect stones and twigs and stuff from the earth around you, wherever you live. You can make art and, whatever it is. Just being on this path for 10 years, this is just how I've accumulated the things that I love. So, with that being said, Don't come at me, guys. I know. I am a book whore, okay? I'm a book whore. And I say that with pride. I got this book. This looks so good. So it's Celtic folk magic. My practice is heavily Celtic, heavily within that realm of things. Obviously, I work with the Fae. One of my main goddesses is Mother Danu, and that comes from the Tuatha De Danann, and that is, I don't know if I said that correctly, but her history is a little, there's not much on her, and people kind of are like, was she ever a goddess or a mother figure, or was she the land, whatever, but her archetype is one of the deities that I heavily, like, she's been through with me for my whole practice, even before I knew who she was. So she comes from Celtic lore, and the illustrations in here are, it's just, I love art. I love, you know, like, that is gorgeous. So I was like, like, oh my god, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for, like, art, and then also, it's just information. Like, look at that photo. Oh my goodness. I love harps. I like the look of them. Goddess Bridget, she's showing up within my practice. The Tuatha De Danann. Ha! I didn't even know that was in here. I would assume, but I don't know. I love reading. I love learning. There's stuff about elves, the Green Man, of course, druids, and I like the idea that it's based around, like, folk magic. And I like, I just love reading. And whether it is, you know, I love reading people's stories. I love reading, like, mythology. I love reading people's magical practices, whether it's based on traditional beliefs or they have made it their own. Obviously, if you're going for a more traditional path and you want to stick true to more what ancient civilizations and people did involving magic and energy work and, you know, worship within whatever realm you're looking for, you know, you want more what's the word? Foundational ways of doing things. But I think with the druids, I don't know if they called themselves druids back in the day, I don't think they did, but what we perceive as the druids in Celtic history, there was not a lot, like, there's not a lot of written information, right? There's not a concrete foundation. So we really have to listen to the land, the people of that land, the people who have passed down what they have learned. And it's honestly, like, open to anyone. Just be respectful. I think there's personally, in my opinion, when it comes to spiritual practices, people get really caught up in, like, oh, you can't practice that, it's a closed practice, whatever. And there is certain things that, yes, 100%. But I think as long as you're being respectful and if something truly calls to you and, you know, you actually research and you have discernment and all that, you can definitely incorporate things into your own practices. So that's where I stand. I don't give a fuck. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. Anyway, I'm gonna end out this video. It's just gonna be a collage of different videos, but thank you guys for watching, the few of you that do. Yeah, I think all of my videos that I've posted so far, because my channel's not new, but me posting videos is new, has all been just the summertime so far. So I think maybe I will do videos and post, like, the seasons, if that makes sense. Because I'm always outside. I work outside, right? So, like, I am very well aware of the temperatures and what's going on and where I live and all that. So yeah, nature is a big part of my practice, and I love working outside, except in the heat. I fucking hate the heat, okay? Not my thing. It's the con of the job. I do not do well in the summer, especially the heat waves. Not about that. I'm a winter girly through and through. Winter. I like autumn, but I don't like the amount of rain that happens. So yeah, I love spooky season, obviously, like Samhain and Halloween, but winter is my safe space. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.